What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to update the video we talked about, the Hogwarts Legacy time period. So this is a debate about playing just year 5 or playing years 5 through 7, right? That's kind of where we're at. The Chudley Cannons poster definitely indicated, right? And I made a video about this a little while ago. I'll link it at the end of this one. There's really only one way, I would say, to read that, and that if that is, like, correct, if nothing was wrong there, then this game has to take place over multiple time periods because they didn't win their 21st championship until 1892. So if it's a celebration poster, we're in the fall probably of 1892. At best, we're probably in 1891, but considering the game starts September 1st of 1890, that would indicate it's multiple years, right? That's the short of it. Again, I made a whole video discussing all the parts of it, but Troy, right, former developer from Hogwarts Legacy, he did a tweet that's very interesting to me because, in my opinion, there's only two ways to read this, right? Either he's deflecting and saying, oh man, people are analyzing it, people saw the poster, and although he doesn't work there anymore, right, I'm not speaking for him, but how I read the situation, maybe he's like, well, I'll do them a solid, and I'll try to deflect people on Twitter, and I'll say, hey, I'm gonna do this, and just to kind of throw you off the trail. Or, if he is telling the truth, and if you just read the tweet at face value, it is definitely something, and to me it indicates that it is a mistake. That Chudley Cannons poster is a mistake, which means you're probably only going to play 1 year. So back to the 1 year talk, right? I was kind of on the train. I was always actually, my original prediction was 1 year. We play the 5th year. Then I kind of, warmed up to 5, 6, 7 because that poster. Now I'm starting to doubt it again. So he said Chudley Cannons 21, ? I reported it as a potential anachronism lore bug via proper channels. Let's see what's there in the release version. Now, I'm not an English major, and I don't even know if I've ever seen that word before, so I did look it up. An anachronism, if that is how you say it, basically just means, it's not the right year. It's the right, time period or era, but it's not specifically when it should be. So, again, he's either deflecting, or if he's telling the truth and it's just a face value tweet, and whichever one you believe, by the way, totally cool. I respect either choice. But my thing is, you wouldn't report something as a bug if it wasn't actually a bug, right? So the fact, I think, he says, I reported it as a potential lore bug. You wouldn't report it as potential if it, so because Troy does know, I 100% would believe, he knows how many years this game takes place over, all right? He's not there now. I'm sure there are things in the game he hasn't seen. I'm sure there have been changes he doesn't know about. But he would absolutely know if the plan was 1 year or 3 years. He just would, okay? So reporting it as a potential lore bug, in my opinion, you only do that if it is a bug. If that poster is from 1892 and you're in the game in 1892, there's no bug to report, right? Does that make sense? There's no lore-breaking bug to tell Avalanche, hey, that may be a mistake. There is no maybe. There's no maybe. It's either it is a bug, it is a problem, or it's not a problem. And that's it. I mean, it's literally as cut and dry as that. So, again, it really, to me, and in fact, when I first saw this tweet, I was like, oh, well, that pretty much confirms it. That confirms it's 1 year because you don't do this. Then people started saying, well, maybe he just did this to do it. Maybe he lying. I mean, is there a malicious intent there? Not necessarily. Lying, I guess, maybe like deceiving us, trying to throw us off the trail, right? Maybe those would be better phrases. He's either doing that, and again, because he watches videos, Avalanche watches videos. We know this because they've said it. So maybe they saw, hey, people are focusing on this Chudley Cannons poster. That was a mistake. That shouldn't have been there. We are in 1890, at least second half, right? Or like the first half of our school year is the end of 1890, and then the second half of our school year is the first half of 1891. So they could be looking at it and saying, oh, well, we thought that would be like a cool Easter egg thing, that Chudley Cannons poster, but that's not the right year. So we're going to have to take that up. Or again, maybe they didn't even know that and somebody, Troy had to tell them, or they saw some of our videos and they're like, oh man. And that's why I tweeted, this is a tough place to be. There's nothing I'm not mad. If people think I'm mad at this, I'm not. This is just a difficult situation because they got themselves in a pickle where they either have to fix the mistake, but fixing the mistake, doesn't that mean it's not 3 years, right? Because if you fix the mistake, then you say, okay, well, we're fixing it because you're not in 1892. Oh, all right, so it's 1 year. Well, no, not necessarily. Well, then why did you take the poster down? Because the poster would then be fine to stay up if we're in 3 years of school. Or if it's 2 years of school, well, that's still 2 years definitely seems the weirdest to me, right? Although it makes sense in the sense that the 3rd year is when Dumbledore would come, right? So your 7th year is Dumbledore's first. There is a world I could see like selling you on, hey, if we ended the game at the end of year 6, that's good because there's no butting heads with Dumbledore. But at the same time, it's like, well, a trilogy would make sense in years 5, 6, 7, right? 1, 2, 3 games. And if you do years 5 and 6 in one game, you're going to do year 7 in game 2, then what's game 3? So it doesn't really make sense in that respect to stop the game at year 6. It's either you go all the way, 5, 6, 7, and then who knows what you do for the second game, or you just do year 5, and then you have a roadmap because year 6 is your Hogwarts Legacy 2, and then year 7 is your Hogwarts Legacy 3. You know what I mean? It kind of writes itself in that way. So very interesting. Again, my gut reaction or my gut feeling to Troy's tweet is this was a mistake. That poster wasn't supposed to be there. We're not in 1892. We're not really even in the fall of 91. This all takes place in 1890 and then the beginning of 91, and that poster was a mistake. They didn't know that. They saw our videos, our tweets, whatever, and Troy specifically stepped out to say, well, I'll message them about it. So that's what I'm going to read into it, which would confirm that it is just 1 year. Not the best way of knowing. Now, well, I mean, it's all speculation. So do we know that it's 1 school year? No. But if I'm right and we actually find this out through them doing this, to me, it's not a great look, right? I love speculation. I know technically we did this to ourselves, right? I'm not really mad. It's just like I don't know if finding out if we're supposed to be 1 school year or 3 school years. I don't know if finding that out in this way with people analyzing something that they made a mistake on, so they have to correct it, which indicates something. I don't know if that, like, seems good. Probably doesn't, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media and our Patreon and YouTube memberships are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.